Welcome back from the desk of Low. Now I have with me the second female artist, but Miss Claretta Haddison was a gospel singer, so I actually have the first female rap artist, and I wanted to set the tone because, man, this girl's gonna be next. I'm telling you. She's hailing from Buffalo, and let me tell you, she's got some bars. She can spit better than most men. Without further introductions, I have Shay Noir.
What's up? I appreciate that. That compliment.
Oh, I gotta keep it all the way a buck, Queen. You got some crazy bars. I love your I love your song section of Class Murder.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite joints.
That's actually how I found of you of the Trust 3 mixtape. But I was curious, Shay, is that part of your real name?
What, Shay?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So picking your stage name wasn't too hard, I'm guessing.
No, it wasn't. My friend actually came up with the name.
Oh, really?
My real last name is Black. So, Noir or Noir is black in French.
Yes. I don't know if you speak
my
French.
My nickname was already Shay, though.
Okay. And when you were first starting out, too, I understand that you listened to people like Jay-Z, DMX, and I also know that you were big on Foxy Brown. Did you enjoy her work with The Firm?
Did I enjoy her what?
Work with The Firm, that group with Nas, AZ.
Oh, yeah. The Firm, yeah, I definitely fucked with that. I was into Foxy more, her like Il Nana, Broken Silence era, I would say.
Okay. Now, rapping the way that you do, too, most people won't expect that from you, too, but you have a story to tell, too, and when I was going through your discography, too, some of your songs on Poetic Thoughts ended up on Thrill of the Hunt 1, if I got my facts straight.
Yeah, it was like one song. Yeah, it was only one song. It was a song I had with Benny.
The Tyson joint, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the one joint.
I was curious too, when you're taking your time to actually write out a song too, is everything off the top of your head, or do you write everything down by pencil and paper, or you can even use your phone, because everything's digital nowadays?
Yeah, sometimes I remember it, or sometimes I put it in my phone. I never write anything down, though.
Okay. So when you're coming up with concepts too to write a song, it's not hard too because you're from Buffalo, and Buffalo's really getting its light shined on it too. I was wondering if you can give me like an everyday in Buffalo for somebody like you.
Every day in Buffalo?
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing spectacular. I had a pretty interesting childhood, so that's why I'm able to add a lot to my content. But I'm a very observant kind of person, so I don't know. A lot of my content from my songs come from things I've either been through or things I've seen growing up, or even now to this day. Like I'm 25 years old, so I'm not out here as much as I used to be, but I'm kind of like more low key now. But a lot of my content come from either things I done witnessed or I done been through already, or I'm seeing or going through right now.
Okay. I like how you said that your age too, because I know it's disrespectful to ask a woman her age too. You're born in you're born in '94 too, but you're very mature for your age too. Because I'm 28, and you're more mature than most people I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Honestly, I've been through a lot, so I matured pretty quick.
Have you ever heard the term that you got an old soul, but you're still young on the outside?
I do have an old soul. I hear that a lot, though. I do have an old soul. But growing up, I was always the youngest out of my crew. I hung out with a lot of older people.
Yeah, so hanging out with the older crowd's nothing new to you.
No, it's not at all. My friends, I was like 19, 20. I was hanging out with like 30-year-olds. Like I always was the youngest out of my crew.
I feel you on that one, Queen. On that one too. Always hanging out with the older cats.
Yep.
I was curious too. You really met Spesh by sending him that Champions track, I heard.
Yeah, I sent it through his to his personal Facebook page.
You were obviously well aware of Spesh because you're all the way in Buffalo too. I was curious when you first started hearing of Spesh too, because you must have been early on this Rochester, Edo, Benny, because you actually witnessed the localness of all this.
Yeah, I always know about Benny because I'm from Buffalo. I knew about Spesh. He was pretty big. I mean, he still is really big. Like a huge local artist. For like, he was huge. He is huge. Upstate artist. Um, so I always knew about them just from me put my ear to the music that was coming out of upstate.
What would you say how long it took you to record Poetic Thoughts? Because from my understanding, that's your first ever project.
Yes.
Okay.
It took me maybe I mean, I didn't have the luxury of having like a studio I can go to all the time, so it did take me a minute to record that. I had a lot of songs, like even songs I never even put out for that project. But it took me a little bit to get it finished.
Okay, yeah, because I say it's 15 tracks of pure fire. I didn't skip one track that on that pure fire. I'll keep it all the way a mill.
That's dope. That was my first project I ever put out. Like,
And
that's dope.
that was in 2016, from my understanding, too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I once heard too. When I'm listening to Thrill of the Hunt too. When you went off on that Breathe joint too, because I'm so particular when other rappers use other rappers' beats too. But I'll let you this right now. They should have gave you that Breathe beat too, because you did it better than Fabulous on that.
Which one?
Breathe.
Oh yeah. That was my shit growing up.
I was gonna say, because you're from that era too, so you can really
Yeah.
tell that it resonates within your music.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that was my shit growing up.
I was curious why the name Thrill of the Hunt for that mixtape, for that project. Sorry.
Me and my friend, I was recording a bunch of freestyles, and he actually just came up with the name for me. Like, and I liked the way it sounded. Like, and I kind of like built a concept behind it because even like the second one that I have a whole concept down from the cover to the title tracks. It's like it kind of gives you like that old wartime theme, especially for the second one. I honestly stick more to a theme, a concept for the second one than I did for the first one.
Yeah, because the second one too, like even the Fall of Rome tour or Kiss the Ring tour, you could tell it's a very concept-driven project that you're putting together with these Thrill of the Hunt series.
It's definitely one of my most cohesive projects I've done so far.
And it's all original beats, right? For Thrill of the Hunt too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Spesh produced every single song in there.
Yeah, because he's been on Twitter saying, like, yo, I've been riding around listening to this nonstop, and I never listened to a female artist this much. And, like, that's a big cosign right there coming from Spesh, too.
He's not lying. He's not lying. It's a great project. Like, it's a great project. Like, it's nothing too complicated. It's, like, straight to the point. But what gets me is, like, it's very cohesive. Like, it's something you can listen to, and it's not, like... It flows really well. The bars are there, the beats are there, so it's a great project. It's a classic, definitely.
Would you say too, like, there's a lot of tracks that didn't make the cut too because you're so particular on what you put out on your projects?
No, we recorded, and when we hit 10, we put them on there, and then we kept recording.
Okay, so you just kept going too after that.
Yeah, it actually worked out really well because all the 10 songs that we recorded went along with the concept of the album, so if I could just put it on there.
Now, did you put the tracks, like the first one as you finish it, or did you have to play around with the track placement too, even for Thrill of the Hunt?
Yeah, we had to play around with the track placement for a minute.
Okay, yeah, because you want to take the listeners on a journey when they're listening to your music.
Mm-hmm. You want it to flow very well. It makes sense.
I also know that you produced too, and you found your passion for production because you were influenced by Kanye West in the college dropout era and the late registration era. I heard about.
Yeah, I actually was producing before I started like really rapping.
Oh, so before you actually put down like those fire bars, you were on the beats before.
I fell in love with music. Like I always rapped, like here and there, but I was like more into beats. Like I can remember me and like my friend, like me and him, I linked up with him. I used to work at this job at the Outlet Mall like years ago, and me and him actually connected through that job, and I found out he did music, and me and him would link like a few times a week, and we would make like I would say for a piece, maybe like 10 to 12 beats a week between both of us. And it got to a point where I was actually trying to get, I started rapping because I couldn't get local artists on my beats. And that's when I was just like, me and him had a conversation. I said, well, shit, let me rap on the beats. Like, nobody else will. And he didn't even know I was a rapper. Like, and he was like, well, shit, let's try it out. I actually ended up recording a freestyle to Jay-Z's So Ghetto beat. And I posted it online, and I got, like, a lot of good feedback from it. So that's why I kept going with it. And, like, the songs on Poetic Thoughts, like, it's 15 songs, and I produced, like, maybe 10 of them. I think it was 10 of them I produced.
Oh wow! So those are some of your beats on that project too. I never knew that.
Yeah, I produced. It was like maybe, I would say maybe 8 or 9 of them. I'll have to go through the track list and tell you which ones. But I produced a handful of that project.
Okay, yeah, because one of my favorites on that is like Whitney or Millennium or Fuck Love.
I produced Whitney. I produced Look at Me. I produced Auxiliary. I produced a lot of songs on there.
And I was curious too. You said that you got a lot of good feedback on the first song you put out with you rapping too. So that's how you knew you had something, because the very first thing you ever put out, people were gravitating towards it.
Yeah, like I mean, the only people that really knew I was rapping was my mom and my sister. So like when I did finally like put it out for the world to see, like when they seen that because I always knew how to rap. I didn't want to be a rapper. I was just like, I love producing. I fell in love with music, honestly, from just like being behind the scenes, like on the boards with it.
Do you still listen to a lot of your old beats from time to time?
I do. I go through them sometimes. Like, I'm actually like getting back into production. This recent year I've been getting back into it because I stopped doing it for a couple years. I didn't stop completely. I would, still do it on and off, but I was more of like focusing on being a rapper. Now I'm trying to transition into being a rapper and a producer.
Were you using like MPCs or was everything digital? I'm curious.
Most of mine was, I would do MPC. The MPC that I use is compatible with Fruity Loops, so that's what I use.
Okay, so you're actually using machine too, as opposed just to having digital, because it can patch with the digital as well.
Yeah, I have like a keyboard that I use. I haven't got into doing the machines yet, but I have a keyboard that I use, and I connect it through Fruity Loops.
I was curious, like, on like who really made you want to do producing too. Like, what was that one beat that was like, wow, I want to do this?
It was a lot of Kanye beats, to be honest with you. Like, I was a huge like Kanye fan. Like, of course, like DJ Premier, Havoc, like all of them. But I really was like obsessed, like the whole soulful sample kind of like beats that Kanye would do. Those like really inspired me. I mean, to be honest, my friend that I used to produce with, like, he had a lot of beats that he would let me hear, and that like kind of inspired me to really get into producing too, like to take it more serious. So I can't remember what beat I would hear that I heard that made me want to start producing, but I remember when I actually used to date this guy in high school that gave me his Fruity Loops program, and once I learned how to make beats through there, I was obsessed with it. So honestly, it came from me honestly just learning how to work it. And once I learned that, I just became obsessed with it.
Well, yeah, too, because it's your passion for it too. So if you like something, you're gonna keep going at it.
Yeah, I was like every day I was just like trying to learn something new about about this program.
Can you remember the first thing you ever sampled?
The first song I sampled, I'm trying to think. I think it might have been an Aaliyah song.
Okay.
I think it was an Aaliyah song. I started digging into like, doing like crate digging and getting like actual records, getting a record player, doing like the old soulful samples. But I think it was an Aaliyah song, if I'm not mistaken. This was like when I was in high school. I think it was an Aaliyah song. I can't remember. I have to look it up.
Would you say too that you gravitated a lot to the mixtape era, like the G with the mixtapes, like the dip sets?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Like I was really into Wayne when I was younger too. Like when he was dropping a lot of his mixtapes. I was into Fab. Dipset era, G Unit, of course. Yeah, I definitely was into that.
I was curious too, your website too, because a lot of people nowadays I noticed to like just hit my Bandcamp, but I noticed that it looks more professional, your website too. Like even when I was going through your bio, I noticed the picture changing when I'm scrolling down. I'm like, damn, those look professional as hell.
Yeah, nah, professionalism is that's key for me. Like I'm very adamant about that, about being professional, and like anything I put out is quality work. It's quality work, and that's how I want it with my my site.
I was gonna say too, you're very professional because you're the first guest to ever be on time.
Yeah, no, I'm professional. I'm very adamant about that. Like I'm very adamant about professionalism because I know how it is being on the on the other end of things. Like waiting on other people. I don't like to deal with unprofessional people. So that's why I try not to be unprofessional.
Yeah, well, it definitely shows too. Like even within your music too, like even the track placements too. You said you had to play around with that. Did you have to do that for the first one too? Did you have to play around with the track listing?
Yeah, no, yeah, we played around with it. Like some placements change, of course. The way, like the mindset that you have going into a project is never how it's the same. It's never going to be the same mindset you end with. Oh, yeah, I'm just saying how like your mindset going into a project is never the same mindset you have once you end it. Um, some things may change. You actually may change the titles around. Like I don't know, some things just change. Like your mindset is a lot different towards the end of it.
Yeah, because like from what like you're understanding too, like you can get inspired to do like two more projects, not just off that one. Like it's never that same mentality when you
Yeah.
actually finish the project.
Yeah, and sometimes like when you go in, some songs like I have a album that I'm working on. It's called The Essence, and I've went through so far. I think we went through 2 different cuts for this album, and maybe it's been like maybe I would say so far it's been like 20 songs that I recorded, and none of these songs are probably gonna make the album.
Oh wow!
Because my mindset is just I keep coming up with different ideas. I'm like, well, I want to scratch this. It's just your mindset. It never stays the same. Like when you're going into a project. So
I like how you said that too, like how none of those songs may make that project too, because you're so very protective of what you actually put out too, because you want people to gravitate towards that music.
Yes, that's very true. That's why I said like it's 20. It's 20 songs. I would say we recorded almost 20 songs for this album so far, and none of them. I'm pretty sure none of these songs are gonna make the album.
I was curious on what your parents say now when they actually see you like doing like making moves out there, because they actually seen you when they were the only ones who knew that you rapped.
I mean, it's more my mom. Like, she definitely she loves my music. My mom knows most of my songs word for word, which is hilarious to me. But yeah, she loves it. Like, my mom, we've been through a lot. She knows my story, so that's what makes her gravitate towards it.
So you ever catch your mom sitting in the kitchen some of your bars? It's like, wow, that's me.
Yeah, I don't like to be around my mom when she listens to my music, to be honest.
Yeah, because it's your parents too, so it's kind of weird when your parents are like listening to your music too. It's
it's weird.
Because you know it since you were a kid.
She'll play it right in front of me, and she'll rap every lyric, and I'm just like, this is awkward. I love it though, but it's just awkward. I'm like, I don't, because I'm like, I don't want to be around my mom, hearing her listen to me talk like this.
Yeah.
She loves it though. She loves it.
So I was curious too. When you actually did you perform Thrill of the Hunt live yet?
Not the first one. I haven't, and I plan on at some point.
Yeah, because I see that you have a show coming up like near the release of your Thrill of the Hunt too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan on it. I have some ideas in the work. Definitely got to get the second one. I'm performing most of the songs live at that show.
Okay. With that too, Thrill of the Hunt too. I love the cover art, by the way, too. Did you have to go around and do different cover arts, or did somebody kind of nail it the first time you seen it?
Actually, my friend, his name is Mac. He's great at that. Like, at that type of stuff. Like, he's been doing my covers since the beginning, and he actually came up with the idea. I told him, like I sat down, I came up like with the name Thrill of the Hunt 2. This is a volume 2. I'm making this into a series. Thrill of the Hunt 2 had a Goliath. And I sent him the title, and he was like, okay, I'm going to find something. He gave me back the next day. He had something, he had drew something out in his notepad and sent me like a picture of a guy, pretty much the guy being, got a picture of a guy's head who is, Goliath. And I told him, it was dope. And he kind of like, took what he drew in his pad and made it into the cover.
Okay. I was going to say, too, because, like, it has to match the theme of the album as well, too. You can't just put, like, no random cover together.
Yeah. Like, it's Thrill of the Hunt 2. At first I was going to call it just had a Goliath. But I said, well, it'd be dope to kind of, like, do, a second part for the first Thrill of the Hunt. So that's why I said Thrill of the Hunt 2 had a Goliath.
Okay. With that being said, too, would you say with your track placement, too, when you went into that project, too, there was no features and the features kind of came after?
Yeah, features came after.
Okay. And, like, you were very, like, because I seen you had Ito on there, Terminology, and I think you have Planet Asia on there, too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Those came after, though. Like, when I initially went in, like, any project I go in, I don't think about the features until I get done with my verses. Then I just, decide, like, oh, who would sound good on this, who compliment, the verse that I put on here.
With that being said, too, did you have to cut any of your verses out to fit the features on?
No, I didn't cut any of my verses out.
Oh, that's good to hear. All right. Does it still like blow your mind too? Because Terminology's been around for a long, long time too, and like he's been around like, and you actually got him on your project too. I was curious on like your most proudest moment so far, because you're gonna be big. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My most proudest moment is finishing this project. Like I haven't had a project out in a couple years now. So as far as like a new project out, like Thrill of the Hunt 1, the first one was like a re-release. I've had that project done, but I had to re-release it because I put it out on SoundCloud, but it didn't get the proper
promotion.
It didn't get the proper promo at the time. This was before I even met Spesh, so I didn't know anything about promoting projects. I used to just put them out after I got done recording them. So that was a re-release. So my most proudest moment is actually doing a project and getting a release date and actually sticking to the release date because I haven't had a project out in a minute.
And it's all like fresh new beats too, so your sword just sharpened even more.
Yes, like I was supposed to have a project out last year. I had some issues that went on with that, so I couldn't put it out. So this is like a proud moment for me. Like my project is going to be out in a few days, so that's big for me.
Yeah, and plus too, your DMs are going to be lit when that project's out.
Yes. It's going to be dope.
With you too, rapping the way that you do too, I'm very curious on some of your most favorite rappers. Like that ain't the most obvious answer.
I mean, I love Rhapsody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love Rhapsody.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love Rhapsody. I would say my first goal is to get a feature with her. That's like that's a goal of mine to get a feature with her. Trying to think who else. I mean, it's not obvious.
Yeah, because everyone says like the Jay-Z's or like the Nas's. I know it's a hard one.
Wayne was one of my favorite rappers actually. When I was like growing up, Wayne was one of my favorite rappers. To be honest, I listen to a lot of like, another fun fact. I listen to a lot of R&B music. I honestly listen to more R&B than I do rap.
Okay, so like the Mary J. Blige's or like the TLC's.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I listen to a lot of like R&B, soulful music.
I was curious, like Raheem DeVaughn or like people like that, or Lloyd. I remember Lloyd was huge with R&B back then.
Yeah, I used to love Lloyd. Yeah, Lloyd was fire.
Whatever happened to Lloyd too? You never see him nowadays.
Nah.
But
never.
I like how you said that too. Like that's a goal to get a song of Rhapsody too, because you two would definitely make a collaboration too, and she's like down to earth too. So I bet she knows of Shay
Yeah, she's
Noir.
dope. Yeah, she's dope. I really loved her Layla's Wisdom project. Like, I actually didn't even start listening to Rhapsody until I heard that project, and then I went back and started listening to her old, like, you know, all her older music. Like, the Layla's Wisdom, that was, like, one of my favorite albums when that came out. This was, like, a couple years ago when the album came out. This was 2017 when she dropped that album.
Grammy nominated.
Yep. It was a dope album. I was like, wow, she's fire. It's very poetic. I love it.
Would you say, yeah, because like when you love an artist too, you're gonna go back and find all their old stuff that they re-released. I mean, sorry, that they released before that.
Yep. Because I had heard of her before. I just never really got into her music. But when I heard Layla's Wisdom, I was like, wow, this album is like amazing. And I went back and started listening to all her older music. I'm like, wow, she's been dope, and I'm just now catching on to her.
With physicals having a big comeback too, do you plan on doing anything like that?
Oh, of course. Yeah, we already got something ready. Like, I have pre-orders available right now, and actually, if you pre-order it, you'll get the first and the second one sent out.
Okay. Yeah, for the people listening, though, you gotta go pre-order that because you won't be disappointed when you hear the Thrill of the Hunt one, let alone the second one.
Yeah, the second one is even better, but you're gonna love the first one too.
With you having like a bright career ahead of you too, would you say that you would ever collaborate with any R&B artists?
Oh yes, oh yes.
So that's not off the table. Okay.
That's not off the table. I love R&B music. Like, I think that's like, you know, that's defined. Like, honestly, a lot of my passion comes from music. It's from listening to different kinds of music. I don't just stick to one genre. I'm very I explore, you know, everything. Like, if it's dope, I listen to it. I don't care. It don't have to be straight rap. But I know I can't just sit listen to rap music all day. I listen to everything.
Oh yeah, because you can't just listen to rap. You have to be inspired by other things out there too, as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, you do. You can tell. You can always tell what artist actually listens to different music, just like by the content they put out.
Yeah, because if you have like a more wide variety of sound too, the only deeper it's gonna hit the audience too when you put your thoughts together and write it all down and put it out into the universe.
Yep. Yeah. So I definitely listen to if it's dope, I listen to it. I definitely don't just listen to straight rap. A lot of people would think that because of the way I rap. Oh, she probably just listens to number rap. I listen to rock. If it's a fire rock song, I'll listen to it. I definitely listen to R&B a lot. You know, I listen to country too if I'm in the mood for it. Like, I listen to anything.
I was curious if you ever big on documentaries too.
Am I big on documentaries?
Yes.
Yeah, I am. Depending, if it's dope, I'll definitely watch it.
Would you ever say that you would ever do one, like documenting your upcoming?
I would love to do something like that.
And that would be.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, because it give the audience. Because I noticed that too. Like a lot of people, like if they really like an artist too, they're gonna go back and like listen to interviews or even like watch like how Spesh did too with He had a DVD out too, and like when he was in the hood and the crack houses too, I was like, damn, like that was such a good documentary. I went front.
Yeah, no, that was dope. I actually remember watching that one day with my friend. Like, yeah, I plan on doing like a documentary, like just to talk about my life a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, because and also show where you came from too, because I bet you there's a lot of people knowing like what your old neighborhood looks like to see where you actually came from.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that'd be dope to do something like that. I actually shot. Well, I don't think the first cut of it came out, but I shot I did 2 different videos for Champions, and one of the videos that I did go back to my old neighborhood that I grew up in when I was like a kid. But that video didn't end up making a cut. But yeah, I've done some videos in my old neighborhood before.
Oh damn. Okay, well at least that's not off the table though.
Yeah, like I think there was some parts of the section video that was in an old neighborhood that I used to hang out and grow up in.
And did you? Because you said there's 2 videos for that too. Did you release both of them?
No, just the second one, like the one that you guys see. That was the one I released. I did 2 different ones for like I like to have different options.
Yeah, I also like to like. I like how on section 2 you have like class murder sin in the hook and you killed with like that one full verse too. Like, when you watch your finished music videos too, like, do you have to like sit down and just like take it all in just to like realize like wow, like that's actually me killing it like that?
Yeah, so I surprise myself sometimes, like with certain things I say. I'm like, wow, did I really think of something like that? How did I come up with that? Because like with me, my writing process, like I sometimes, like especially when I get done with a project, I gotta go through, listen to the project, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure the next one is a step up. Like, you know, I always want to make sure I'm evolving as an artist. I don't want to be sounding the same with every verse. Like, I want to make sure I touch on different things each verse.
Yeah, so you can build your audience too, because like I bet you like you must have people coming from you from like different regions, and like you never knew that you would actually have interactions with these people, I'm guessing.
Yeah, like, you know, especially with me being a woman, like, there's certain things that I can talk about and touch on that a lot of people that I come up that I'm coming and rapping with now can't discuss. Because, you know, I offer a woman's perspective on it, but I offer it from a different angle that's never really been told before. So I try to be, that's why I say, like, I go and listen through my music because I'm trying to offer something. I always want to make sure I'm evolving as an artist, too. Like, my next project, I don't want it to sound anything like Thriller the Hunt, too.
I like that. I like that. Versatile.
Yeah,
Well, that's good too,
definitely.
because that's what the game needs right now is like a woman's perspective on this underground movement too, and also showing that she's just not catering to a certain pop sound, like she's catering to this like hardcore underground lyricalism sound.
Yeah, and that, honestly, that separates someone from being just a rapper and, you know, making them an artist. Like, I don't want to be known as just a rapper. Like, I'm more than that. That's why I've, you know, been digging back into my producing, like, because I want people to see, like, I'm more than just a rapper. I'm not gonna be just a rapper. I'm a full around artist.
I like how you said when you were how you were first getting started out too, when you were making beats that no one would get on your beats, but then you did. I bet you people are gonna be trying to get on your beats now.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of beats. I sent a few beats that was on Poetic Thoughts to people, and like once, you know, I got with Spesh and everything started blowing up. Everybody was like, "Oh, can I get beats? Let me get a verse." I'm like, I remember asking y'all for a verse years ago, and y'all wouldn't fuck with me. So
It's like, what's up now, y'all? I'm better than y'all.
yeah, yeah. I don't even look at it like that. I just be like, that's funny.
Oh, I meant with the bars. I meant with the bars, though.
Yeah, yeah. I've definitely sharpened my pen with that.
But it's like what somebody told me before too. Like people don't want to be there in the beginning process until they actually see something happening.
Hmm. Yeah, because at one point I couldn't even really get shows in my own city. Now people are hitting me up left and right for shows. I couldn't even really get a show in my own city at one point. Like my very first time performing, I had to come to New York.
Oh, really?
I went to the city. That was my first time ever performing. Was at a show in the city. Like a lot of like before I even like linked with Spesh, I was on Power. I was on Power 105.1. I went on DJ Self Show and did like a few freestyles and did an interview there. And that was for me doing shows in the city. Him actually seeing me, he saw me perform at the spot in Queens, and he hit my friend up. He was like, "Yo, I want her to come on the show."
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even getting shows in my city for a while.
But that's good. That's actually good for your first time too, like in New York too. So you're actually seeing like the big city reaction to your energy.
Yeah, yeah. It's just crazy, like how my first time performing, like a lot of people be shocked. My first time performing, I did not perform in my own city.
But I bet you when you do perform in your city, though, that bring the whole city out.
Oh yeah, I try to. I'm trying to bring the whole city out I'm trying to bring them all out for my release party. That's gonna be amazing. So
Yeah, and you're obviously going to be performing during that release party.
I'm sorry.
Would you be performing Thrill of the Hunt 2 in its entirety?
I'll do a few songs. I'll definitely do a few songs. I have some shows coming up with Spesh, so I definitely be performing Thrill of the Hunt 2 at those shows too. So
Would you say too you're gonna like just see how the crowd reaction is to some songs to see which ones you actually do perform, like when you're going on tour?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know it's a few that I know I'll definitely perform there, so it's gonna be dope.
Well, if you having, like you said, Shay, like you're killing it out here too. I won't take up much of your time. So only
I
one other
appreciate that.
woman answered this question on the podcast before, but the reason why I asked this question to everybody is no individual can answer this question the same. So I would definitely more interested to hear your answer to this question. With that being said, do you have any words for somebody in a dark place trying to see the light?
Um, Someone in a dark place trying to see the light. I mean, the way I deal with things are a lot different from the way others deal with it. I'm a very spiritual person, so my spirituality and what my faith is what gets me through a lot of those dark times. But I can honestly tell someone, man, you got to find something to look forward to. That's what makes those dark times. I would say a lot more tolerable has having something to look forward to. Like when I was going through a lot, when I decided that I wanted to do my music, that was something that I looked forward to doing every day, regardless of what I had going on around me. I looked forward to doing music. I know that was one part of my day where it wouldn't be, as unbearable. So I would say you got to find something to look forward to, and you got to get motivated by that, and kind of like put your all in that.
Like
and at some point, once you put the work in, you'll see the light at some point, because everyone has a purpose. It's just about finding it.
yeah, because a lot of people go through life without finding their purpose too, and it kind of gets to them too.
Yeah, because you're gonna go through shit regardless. Like, but it's about having something to look forward to get your mind off of that and help you get through that. Because I know, like, I was going through a lot, especially when I first decided. That's what took me so long to really take my music serious, because I was going through a lot of like personal family things. But I know, like, when I was going through that, something I had something to look forward to was my music. Like, anytime, even if I just take an hour out of my day, that's one of the best hours I didn't had, all week.
Yeah,
having something to look forward to.
I like that answer too, and it's mostly like a lot more inspiring too from your perspective too, because we don't really hear that much women's perspectives of like that kind of answers out there too. So I'm very glad you shared that on the show.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, I know how I deal with things, like, but I know in life, just in general, like, you gotta have something, because we all have a purpose, but it's about finding that purpose. And once you find that purpose, just feed off of that. Like, you get out of those dark spots at some point, but having something to look forward to definitely makes it a lot easier.
That's a big fact right there. Shay, like you said too, I must have said this like 3 times during the show. You're going to be huge. Is there anything that you'd like to plug in before I let you go? Once again, I deeply appreciate this interview.
I appreciate it. Yeah, just hit me on Instagram and Twitter, Shay_Noir, CHE_NOIR. You need any beats or features, just hit me up.
Make sure you come correct too, because this girl's fire.
That's a fact. Listen to him.
I don't know. With that being said, this is another classic episode of the first female rap artist to appear on the show, from Desk Below, featuring Shay Noir.